Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are getting back into Love is Blind series 2. We are now on episode 9 and it's coming up to the weddings, and let me tell you, I was hella shocked. I ain't gonna lie. I was shocked by some of the, I think by two of the outcomes, but we will get there. We will get there at the end of the day. So it's wedding dress choosing time. Oh, nearly forgot. Before we get into this video, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1k. So as I said, it's wedding dress choosing time. Ashley is scared of the dates that Billy has, and we see there's been a change up in terms of the host who goes where. So Matt Willis turns up at the girls' wedding dress fittings, and Emma Willis goes and see the boys at their wedding fittings. I'm gonna say wedding dress fittings, but yeah, you know what I mean. So Robbie is Cal's friend, and said he has had relationships that didn't last long, and once it gets past the honeymoon stage, for him it's a case of will it last. But he said only Cal can decide if he wants to take that leap with Sarova. They do explain to the lads and the girls, that Javin and Katisha have left. I kind of think that they already knew this anyway. And Matt does talk to Sarova's mum, Barley, and Barley says this whole situation hasn't been normal, but at the end of the day, because she hasn't been able to be involved as much as she would like in the process of that wedding, but as she sees Sarova is happy with Cal, and Cal is happy, and that's all that matters to her. So Jed and Bardha are stating that they are for each other. They are the ones for each other basically, but they have issues about how they are in terms of wanting to take care versus her clinging on to dear life for her values of independence will be an issue that will come to a head at the end of the day. And I wonder if they will be able to say I do at that point, because I was kind of questioning it. She says he makes her feel softer, he makes her feel safe and heard in every way, but my question is, does she do the same to him? Does she make him feel heard? Does she make him feel safe too? So Kieran is basically confident that he and Megan will both say yes at this altar. He ain't faltering in no way. I do hope she does say yes too, because Kieran has actually been amazing. Both of them together have been amazing. I've seen no red flags. I only seen that one Amber one where they had the situations with Sophie and Megan, but that has quickly zoop past my mind at the end of the day. Meg says that Kieran is genuine, he's trusted, and she's ready to say I do with him, but she will see what she says on the day. Fingers crossed, if anyone says yes, it will be these two, because to be honest with you, they've been pretty consistent across the board, and I haven't really seen anything really bad come out from both of them two at the end of the day. So Junaid, who is Cal's brother, speaking to Cal about the differences between them and Sarova's family. They are doing it in a jovial way, so they're not being hella serious about it. And I'm I ain't gonna lie, it was an emotional episode, especially with the wedding dress shopping with the girls and what they were saying what they'd found in the men. Oh, it was a bit of a tearjerker, especially when the friends and the family spoke up as well. So Ashley already is in buckets, and I ain't gonna lie, she made me cry. She did. I don't normally cry at these things, but this did make me cry, because I feel like Ashley's like a kindred spirit for me. She talks about people not respecting her enough or seeing her, and for Billy, he's ticking the boxes, but he needs to get out of his own head. He needs to get out of his own way, basically. So Billy talked to his dad, and he says that he knows he loves Ashley, but needs to do it right this time around. I honestly was praying at this screen that he does not break this girl's heart, because she's putting everything on the line for this man. She wants Billy like no one's business. Yeah, Ashley is ready. But she is going to be very scared of his response. She's nervous going into that wedding scenario, and I understand why. So you got the hen and the stag news, and the only couples left is Jed and Bardha. I was going to say Jada. That actually has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Jada. You got Megan and Kieran, Ashley and Billy, Sarova and Cal. Out of those, yeah, I did say that I saw saying I do, I thought would have been Jada, Jed and Bardha, and Megan and Kieran. I was kind of thinking that Cal may say no, where Sarova may say yes, and Ashley may say yes, where Billy may say no. And that's only because of the certain bits of issues that have come up between them. So we shall see how it goes. I really do want Billy to say I do. And as I said, my decision making was out on Sarova and Cal at the end of the day. So Ashley is putting a plaster on everything for now. She wants to go out and she wants to focus on having a good time. I mean, I will say this, like, it's Love is Blind at the end of the day. You don't know what will happen when it comes to the altar. You want it to be one way, but all you can do is wait and see. So Jed is saying, like, that's what's playing on his mind the most is, like, he has had girls that are yes people, basically, and have lulled him into believing all women are like that. But then with Bardha, she is an independent, and he says that she's a very strong-minded woman, and that basically he knows he needs to adapt to that. And the argument situation comes up again. And I thought at this point they hadn't necessarily had an argument, or so I thought. Because Jed laughs and it skips to Bardha, who said that they had an argument the night before, being their first major argument. So basically, they were going out for dinner. And Jed had said before they went out to Bardha that this time is his treat, he is going to pay for it. She agreed. Yeah, she agreed. But what happened when they had their said dinner and the bill came, Bardha decided to get her card out, basically, and pay for the dinner, even though she agreed that Jed would do it. The Bardha says she doesn't understand the importance of it for him. As to her, it was just the bill, which is fine, but that's not the point at the end of the day, because the key words, Bardha agreed. They had that agreement before they went out, and then she undermined him by taking her fucking card out. Now she knows the type of person that Jed is, and this is where I said Bardha is going to have to learn to give and take and to compromise. Yeah, I don't think Jed wants to change her. Yeah, but the same way she likes to be heard by him, he needs to be heard by her too, and she did not hear him. She did not hear him in that moment. So she says, like, it put him in a mood, basically. And she says, as far as she was concerned, she was trying to be nice. But so was Jed. So was Jed. And point blank, you agreed before you went out that he would be the one to foot the bill, and you still took your card out. I mean, what do you think would happen there at the end of the day? So you see Jed explaining it to his friends that they've been on so many dates where, you know, they've both shared the cost of the meals. But on this one, he explains again that, you know, beforehand he'd said he had the bill. And she agreed. That's the key component in this argument right now. Bardha agreed for him to pay, yeah? And she went back on it with her actions. So he said clearly he was treating her. So he was affronted that she took her card out. Apparently, Bardha says to Jed, like when she took her card out, trust me, let me pay for it. Don't make the scene awkward. At that point, I was like, Bardha, come on, man. So basically, Jed got frosty. He said the whole situation got frosty. He said he couldn't go to sleep on an argument, basically. So then they tried to talk it out. And for Jed, it was more so he felt like he was not heard by Bardha. And I think Bardha's good friend who was with her at the Hindu told her, you should have let him do it at the end of the day. And I said, this will rise up and be a slap in the face of both of them when it comes to a situation like this. But I'm glad it's happened now. And I'm glad that they're having an argument to understand how each of them work within said argument. Do you know what I mean? And how it can be rectified for them both. So he said it will be a problem, a continued problem, if Bardha does not hear him or he feels as though he is not being heard by her. So it slips to Bardha and her friends, and they're saying something like, you will make him feel inferior. And I don't think it's that for Jed at the end of the day. He has no issues with Bardha getting things or doing things for herself. It's more so she didn't listen to him, although she agreed in the beginning that the date was his treat at the end of the day. She could have put her card away. Yeah, rather than telling him, don't make it an awkward situation, she could have said, oh, I'm sorry, Bab, I forgot, you know what I mean, that I agreed you could pay for it. Put the Ross card away. Yeah, so now it's bigger than it has to be at the end of the day, in my opinion. So Bardha says, like, she's been independent for a long time and it does take some time to adjust. And for her right now, between her and Jed, it feels uncomfortable because Jed is not being heard. So the situation is not resolved for them at the end of the day. So I can't be for Bardha on this one at the end of the day, because there are ways in which to rectify that situation fully. Yeah, because Bardha's not listening to where it is that Jed is coming from, but expecting Jed to understand where it is that she's coming from. Like, you know, I can do this. I was only trying to treat you, but then so was he trying to treat her. And she needed to understand that, but she's not understanding that. So I don't know. Bardha's hoping that this will be a blip in their scenario, but unless they sort out their communication, it really won't be. Ain't gonna lie, I do like him so much. He's so much fun, and he was flinging his hips around as the king of the hip swings, as he said he is. So I'm gonna say both nights were good, but it's the weddings which will put in the test for them. So I'm confused. I'm going to say that Megan's friend didn't even know what Kieran looked like at the end of the day. So Megan got asked a question like, does she feel differently with Kieran than she had with the others? Megan got out one word for real, yeah, and said yes, and went to say more, and then one of her friends just literally jumped in and overtalked her, yeah, in what, like, you know, of course Megan feels differently. I mean, she's glowing. I'm like, mate, the question was for Megan, not you, mouth all freaking mighty. Do you know what I mean? So you see Ashley's talking to her sisters about the biggest hurdle with Billy, which is her job. So now Ashley says Billy openly accepted her job, which he did in the pods. He raised no concerns with Ashley. They had planned through in terms of what would happen in the first 6 months of their marriage if they were to get married. But Billy did Ashley a disservice by not telling her that it was a continued worry for him at the end of the day and an issue for him, to the point that he may get up there and say no. That blindsided Ashley completely, and you can see, and I think because she's thrown herself into this love with Billy, if he says no, it will devastate her. So he needs to be assured he is making the right decisions and not being ruled by his past experiences when it comes to her. So her sisters do raise concern for Ashley and say that she's not her bubbly self anymore that she was in the beginning. I said, because she's stressed, she's feeling pressure, and she's worried Billy will say no to her. She's worried that she will be lacking in Billy's eyes, which is the wrong way to look at it. Her sisters are not liking what they're seeing. Billy has dropped a major bomb on Ashley, as up until now he said something Ashley believed him to be all in. Yeah, so her sisters tell her that, you know, she's amazing and Billy would be stupid to let her go, which is true, or walk away, and not to let anyone dim her sparkle. And I agree, Ashley is lovely and Billy would be a fool to not compromise to make it work as they had planned at the end of the day. So Billy is telling Cal like things are good between him and Ash. He says he loves Ash, but something is not sitting with him. But on another note, they are the best thing that's happened to each other. Contradictions, yeah, if I ever heard one, but we'll continue. So it's her job he's harping on about, and I thought, mate, it was the first 6 months until she can transition to groundwork. Do you know what I mean? So I think Billy's being a little bit unfair, as he still decided to ask the girl to marry him knowing she was cabin crew. He could have changed his mind at any moment in those pods, yeah, when he realised what job it is that Ashley does at the end of the day. But now he turned around and he's casting doubt for Ashley where there wasn't on, and it's impacting her. Like emotionally, it's impacting Ashley, but Billy can't see past his own experiences at all. And that's what I mean when I say Ashley said she needed him to compromise, and I hope that he can, like, seriously. So he even said, like, we did talk about it in the pods when Cal asked it. He did talk about it in the pods. But if a connection came up, then they said that, and we loved each other, then we would try to work for it. So I'm like, well, what's happened now? Like, honestly, what has happened now? I sometimes think it's kind of manufactured drama, that's coming in here at the end of the day, and Billy's feeding into it, because what he says makes no sense, and it would be natural for him to have cold feet before a wedding, but there are options and solutions for them, but he wants to create chaos, in my opinion. So Cal is right when he says to Billy he would love to see them get married, as I really would. And he said to Billy, like, if you're delaying the inevitable, except probably embarrassment for Ashley if you get up there and say no, and broken heartedness for her, in my opinion. So Cal says, say if the wedding is tomorrow, what are you saying on the day? Because to be honest, people need to know early on if it's a no or a yes. They just like to style this shit out. They really do. So Billy said he would say no. And it's the first time Billy said that he said no aloud, and it's so hard for him to comprehend. And I just thought, oh, boo-hoo, Billy. Boo-hoo, freaking Billy. All I'm saying is that if that's how you feel right now, rather than drag Ashley through that day and the anxiety of it, end it now. Like, seriously, end it now. So Billy is still saying that he will stay, though, because he doesn't know if his feelings will change on the day. I thought, fuck off, Billy. At that point, I did think, fuck off, Billy. Now, this man has done piss me off for real, for real. So Cal said to him, if you do love her, then you should find a way to make it work. Well done, Cal. Well fucking done, Cal, because I couldn't have said it better. So the couples do leave their apartments at this stage to go and prepare for their weddings. So this is the test on how they'll remain in contact with each other in the interim, because there's 4 days to wait until the weddings do happen, and if they can communicate outside of this experiment as well, or even meet up, would be good for them. So Billy is telling Ashley, like, you know, he's intrigued as to how these last 4 days will play out, as there are doubts for Billy which has impacted upon Ashley. So he's looking forward to the 4 days to gain clarity, basically. I mean, Ashley doesn't need clarity. She's telling Billy she wants to continue this journey with him, and for her to have her happy ending at the end of the day. So Ashley has made her decision, and she's making it clear to Billy that this is her decision, and you take it or you leave it. Ashley is trying to show Billy, like, she is enough. So it ain't about her job for her, like, because she knows that can be changed, and he knows this. But the question she is truly asking, is she enough for him to fight for? I feel for her. I really, really do. So we see Bardha and Jed talking. So they both think it's hard to say where they will be in 4 days' time. My hope is that they can overcome the current hurdle, but we shall see, as it is important for them both to be seen and heard, and that one situation has basically thrown them a kilter. And then we essentially get to Bardha and Jed's wedding day. God. So Jed is feeling the same feelings about Bardha, and it's the same for Bardha as well. They love each other to bits, basically. But the only thing that matters at this point in time is either a yes or a no. Have they done enough to say yes to each other? So since leaving the apartments, they've said that, like, there's been a few more bickerments, as Bardha puts it, and she's concerned how they will handle those moving forward. But she doesn't say what they had the disagreements about, basically. She does say to her girls that she does miss him. Bardha, for me, says all the right things to her girls. Like, you know, she's being soft and not having to be this strong, independent, masculine woman all the time, as she says. But she can't seem to put that into practice. She still has difficulties letting a little bit of this side of her go, and being open to allow Jed to do certain things for her. So in my opinion, from what I've watched, she may not trust in Jed as much as she says she does, to ensure that he has her and it at the end of the day. So the arguments have snapped her out of her bubble, basically, a little bit for both of them. And it needs to be whether they can work through it or not. Otherwise, don't be saying I do up there if you feel that you can't. So Jed is talking to his friends about Bardha and is praising Bardha, basically, and their relationship. He believes, he's so assured that Bardha will say yes up there, basically, but he has not shared what he will say to his friends. He does highlight that they have clashed over a few things. So his friends was like, asked on what? So he keeps saying he feels he's not being heard by Bardha, so it's a communication between them. And this is why people said, wait until your first argument because then that would test them at the end of the day. His friend asked, do these tests only happen in high pressure situation, or is it just like an everyday predicament? Jed said like it feels like it's normal, and speaks about Bardha being strong-minded. They are like both the same people. Jed said that Bardha is better at parking the situation than he is. He's quite stubborn in that area, but he's gonna have to pick and choose his arguments when it comes to the situations with Bardha at the end of the day, and know well enough when to shut up and put up. Do you know what I mean? Because not every situation needs an argument, seriously. So I think up there it really is going to be make or break for these two, to be honest. As I think that they can work through it and learn each other as time goes on. So Jez says like he would not be sitting there or in this position if he wasn't ready to get married to Bardha. I ain't gonna lie. All of the brides look gorgeous, and all of the grooms was so freaking handsome at the end of the day. So you see his first look, and you could tell that he loved every bit of her when she walked down with the smile on his face and how he was looking at her. You could see the emotion in his eyes, but he didn't cry. So who will say I do or I don't? The vows were good. Made me cry. I ain't gonna lie, made me cry. Both of them did. And then we didn't find out till the next episode on whether Bardha says I do or whether Jed says I do. So that is where I'm going to leave it, and I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. All I say, my renegades and those coming in, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, and I'll continue to be on the road to 1k. Peace out.